What's up, guys? It's Hayden.
Hey, and I'm Emma. Welcome back to our channel. Thank you again if you're one of our loyal followers joining us again, and welcome to our channel if you're brand new. We'd just like to firstly start with, we hope you are all doing okay out there at the moment. We are in some crazy, uncertain times at the moment. I know there's a lot of people stressed and confused and heartbroken, all of the things at the moment. There's a lot of emotion happening out there. So we really sincerely hope you're doing okay. We wanted to do a bit of a series for you in the coming weeks to basically get us through isolation. We're all in isolation at the moment and need something to do at home. So we thought it'd be fun to put together some top 10 videos for you. And our first one, this video is going to be our top 10 favorite TV shows of all time that you must watch, in our opinion. And look, it was a tough list to put together. Many debates. Yes. Towards the end, like the top probably 5 or so, I think are pretty solid. Top 3 at least are pretty solid. But as the lower end, you know.
Number 7 is quite controversial.
Number 7's a bit controversial, but we'll get there. We'll get to that. So yeah, this is our top 10 must-watch TV shows to get you through isolation at the moment. And we'll kick it off with number 10. Number 10 position is Chernobyl. It's a HBO miniseries about the very true event that happened in Chernobyl, the Chernobyl disaster with the nuclear power plant, which exploded in 1986.
Yeah, I mean, this show just hits you. It just, I don't know, I think because it's based on real life events and just seeing everything just happen in front of your eyes, and they did it just so realistically, especially with like the makeup effects and all that, really hitting that realistic take, which I think you needed to do. I think doing it any other way was going to be almost like an insult to the story and the people. So I think they needed to make it realistic and do it justice, which they did. I mean, the quality of work is absolutely fantastic. The well shot, the makeup effects.
The makeup effects
outstanding.
In this are incredible, and as a makeup artist, you know, I love seeing all these realistic wounds and injuries. But even I found myself being so disturbed. Like, I knew it was makeup, but it was just so realistic and so well done that it was really shocking. Like, you genuinely believed that was real, what you were seeing. And it is. It's like, it's horrendous what these people had to go through. And yeah, it just blew my mind, the quality of the effects and just the overall production. It was a beautifully made show. The cinematography is gorgeous. Yeah.
The actors sold it as well.
Outstanding
so Stellan
cast.
Skarsgård, Jared Harris, the whole cast. You know, and again, you're depicting like real world characters or real world people. So again, it's almost like that weight on their shoulders that they have to depict these people realistically and truthfully, which I think they did a really good job.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, bit depressing, but just it's one of those shows you can't look away from. You just need to watch it.
Well worth the watch.
Well worth the watch.
Yeah, and although a very devastating story and quite hard to watch at times, it is very confronting. I definitely give it another watch.
Oh yeah.
It's
I think
definitely
we are due for a rewatch.
Yeah, it's definitely got rewatchability. Just for the production value of it, it's fantastic. So definitely go and check out Chernobyl if you haven't already. It is on Foxtel Now in Australia. I'm not sure where else it's showing around the world, but in Australia you can check it out on Foxtel Now. And I think we'll move on to our number 9 TV show that we recommend, True Blood. Now this show, it did end a few years ago, and it was a show adapted from a book series by Charlaine Harris. But adapted for television by
Alan
Ball for HBO. Once again, HBO brings out the goods, don't they? True Blood is, well, it's unique.
Yes.
In a lot of ways.
Yes.
But it's a drama series that essentially follows our lead character, Sookie Stackhouse.
Sookie!
Who lives in Southern America.
Southern
I think
America.
there's a lot of Southern accents in
Yep.
this. So Anna Paquin plays Sophie Stackhouse, and she is brilliant in this role. As is Stephen Moyer and Alexander Skarsgård, my personal favourite. We also had Ryan Quanten in there.
Yeah, Aussie boy.
Aussie bloke.
Started on Home and Away, I believe.
Yeah.
Back in the day. A little fun fact for you.
So this follows Sophie Stackhouse, who is a waitress. Now she's quite gifted and can read minds, but she's also living in a world where vampires exist. And we see all the adventures that unfold and all the love triangles and all the blood and gore.
Yes.
Because there is actually quite a lot
It's not your Twilight vampires. There's no
No.
sparkling in the sunlight or any of that bullshit. It's bloody, gory, sexy fun.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it's very sexy.
I think that's the best way to describe it, actually. It's good, bloody, gory, sexy fun.
Look, it's it is R-rated. You do get some pretty hardcore sex scenes in this.
There's a few bare butts.
And yes, a lot of blood and gore, which we absolutely love.
Yep. Being horror fans since way back.
Yeah. So yeah, just a good fun series if you're into mythical creatures and
vampires particularly.
Yeah, vampires particularly, and blood and guts and sex, essentially. So we don't want to talk too much about these. We don't want to give you any spoilers, but definitely check out True Blood if you haven't. As I said, it's been out for a few years now. And we are definitely due for a rewatch.
Yeah.
And in our number 8 position, we have The Walking Dead. So we've gone from vampires to zombies now.
And the show that I think popularized the zombie genre on TV.
Yes. It has been around for a very, very long time. We are now in it's now in its 10th season, which we are currently watching. It is week to week at the moment. Now this show, I think it was extremely popular when it first came out.
It was up there with your Game of Thrones, your Sons of Anarchy. Like, it was on that level.
Yeah. And I think the first few seasons were very solid, but somewhere along the line, I think some fans started to drop off a bit in the later seasons. We have stuck around. We've
stuck around, and look, admittedly, the last few seasons have kind of dropped off a little bit. But I think if you have watched this through like the first 6-7 seasons and you're invested in these characters, you're going to want to watch it till the end. And look, it still has its moments. There are still some very, very good moments. And I think that's due to just some of the characters that we've grown to love.
Yeah.
So we've got like Andrew Lincoln, we've got Norman Reedus, we've got Jeffrey Dean Morgan in the later seasons.
Yeah. So there's some eye candy for you.
Yes, and some great personalities. Jeffrey Dean Morgan is fantastic. Just stick around until he comes into the show because he is fantastic. And yeah, so this was actually based on a graphic novel.
Yeah.
And then it was developed for the screen. And again, it was one of these shows that's, you know, not afraid to kill the main characters off. Definitely has those high stakes where you don't know who's going to live or die. It started off being more of like, you know, your zombie kind of horror show, but I think it has started to get more into, I guess, the drama side of things and the actual battle between the humans, the surviving humans more than anything.
Yeah.
With the zombies is kind of like the background. But mainly, like in the later seasons, it's mostly focusing on the battle between the rival groups.
Yeah.
And the human conflict there, which I think is an interesting way to take it. Because, I mean, we've all seen the conflict with zombies before and how we overcome a zombie apocalypse. But a show that actually dives into how humans will personally deal with that, and how they will, you know, turn on each other, in certain situations, I think is a really interesting take, and I think that's the glue with The Walking Dead.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting take on, as you said, a zombie apocalypse story. It really does question how would humans react to a situation like this.
Poorly. The answer is poorly.
Very poorly, it would seem. It does make you question what sort of role you would play in that situation. I'd like to think we'd be still pretty civil people. But
You'd like to think so, but again, when it's
desperate times
and it's all about survival, I mean, you've got to do
survival of the fittest.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think the biggest thing with this show that I think has kept it alive for so many years, for 10 years now, is the quality of the zombies, of the effects. I have never seen such realism in mythical creatures, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
how much does it cost to do one zombie? I think we looked it up. It's like it's
oh,
quite a bit.
thousands. Was it like
Yeah,
$10,000?
per zombie or something, yeah.
Something ridiculous. It's like the production and the money that they put into keeping this standard of quality through all seasons. Like, that is one thing that doesn't drop off with this show, is the high standard of effects. And I think it needs it.
Yeah, it does need it. I mean, you're there to watch zombies. You're there for, you know, the blood and the gore, as well as, you know, the drama and all that. But it's really the zombies that are the main, I guess, backdrop and focus of this show. So they need to be done right, and they do them really well.
Yeah.
You can actually like just see just inside of their skulls, and then they've got body parts falling off.
All that fun stuff.
Guts hanging out, like all the fun stuff. And it does it really well.
Yeah. Definitely check this one out. Give it a chance. Look, it is horror. If horror is not your thing, then sorry, but it's on our list because we absolutely love horror and we love zombies, and we recommend The Walking Dead. Now, number 7 is a little bit of a controversial one, because this is the show that, for me, it was quite hard to put this low in the rank. I personally believe that this show is kind of tying for number 1 and 2 position at the moment.
Big call.
But look, it could also be for the fact that we are in the middle of watching the new season.
It is one of the latest shows that we got into.
Yeah, and so it's front of mind at the moment. So that could also be why I want to rank it so high. But the show we are talking about is Outlander.
Outlander.
Now, this show was recommended to me a few times in the past, and we were always watching. We were always watching something, and it was just, you know, never got around to it until Hayden's sister, shout out to Amanda, really pushed this one for us. She really, really recommended it. And look, I'm kicking myself that we didn't start this earlier, because it is so brilliant. I absolutely love it. It just has all the elements that you want in a show. Well,
for me, I was a little bit put off initially because I thought it was going to be a normal period drama, like your Downton Abbey kind of thing, which I'm just not about. It's not my kind of thing. And this is set in initially in post-World War II. We follow Claire, who is a combat nurse, and she's on a second honeymoon with her husband, Frank. But then she accidentally finds herself traveling back in time to Scotland.
Yeah.
And then has to deal with that whole time difference, and then is, you know, having to find her way home from that. So what it does, it is a period drama. Don't get me wrong, it's a period drama, but what it also handles is the dark elements of that period. So war, torture, slavery, all of that kind of stuff. And when it does that, it doesn't hold punches. Like, it can actually get quite brutal and graphic when it needs to. And I appreciated that, and those elements I really enjoyed. Yeah,
and I mean, we're both very much interested in history, and I think if you're a history buff, you'll get a lot of enjoyment out of this too. I mean, obviously they stretch the truth a bit, but there are a lot of elements in it which are quite factual, and it really does tick all the boxes, because you have that romance. There's beautiful romance and storyline. You've got blood and gore, you've got violence, you've got these elaborate costumes which are absolutely beautiful, and time travel.
It was thrown in there as well.
Now, this is another show that is based off a book series. This one by, I'm gonna butcher her name, but I think it's Diana Gabaldon. Correct me if I'm wrong with that pronunciation. And I'm definitely wanting to read these books now. This show has just got me so invested, and I'm not the biggest reader, but she's making me want to read these books now. Look, the fantastic cast.
Yep.
Really strong cast, really great acting. You've got Katrina Balfe as our main character, Claire, and Sam Heughan as Jamie Fraser.
Calm down. But yeah, great acting. As you mentioned before, like production design wise, it's fantastic. The costumes are great. Like the old school settings and castles and all that. All that's really well done. Just takes you back to that time period.
Yeah, a lot of it filmed in Scotland, of course. You know, we are following a Scottish clan.
The Mackenzies
The
and the
Mackenzies
Frasers.
and the Frasers. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, it's got something for everyone. It's got like that romance and that drama. And then it's got the war and the violence and the torture that appeal to someone like me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And a lot of sexy time. So anyway, definitely check out Outlander. Moving on, because I'm getting hot flushes now. Outlander, definitely check it out. It's on Netflix in Australia, but it is a Stars production.
Yeah.
So I think there's a Stars app that you can also check it out on. Anyway, so moving on to number 6 in our list, we have Breaking Bad. Now, I think there will be a lot of people who are already quite familiar with this show.
And a lot of people that probably think it should be higher on the list. It is known as one of the best shows ever created.
Yes. Very, very intelligent story writing and filmmaking. It's fantastic filmmaking.
Created by Vince Gilligan,
Yep.
who is a fantastic writer, very smart writer.
Yep.
And it definitely shows in this show. Follows Walter White, who has discovered that he's got cancer. And to pay the medical bills, he's had to go into the drug business. And that's kind of the whole kind of arc of his character and the story.
Yep.
And it's just like he just gets so deep and he's like trying to get out and he just gets deeper and deeper and deeper. And that whole story is just really interesting to see.
Yeah. And we meet along the way Jesse Pinkman, who becomes another lead in this. And just the chemistry, if you'll pardon the pun,
Good one.
between Walter and Jesse is just brilliant to watch.
Played fantastically by Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul.
Yes, they work so well together and just really make this show. But just the twists and the turns that you get with this show, it's never ending. It's like, oh, you're always on edge. What's coming next? Oh God, what's he getting into now? It's just brilliant storytelling. And look, we're probably going to get hated for putting it so low on our list. But look, it was higher until now. There's been some new shows in recent years that have just started to work its way up. So definitely check out Breaking Bad.
Yeah, if you're a fan of good storytelling, smart writing, twists and turns, this one's definitely for you.
Quite a few seasons in the series. And there is a prequel series to Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul. Is another brilliant show, which
almost made our list.
Just missed out.
On the fringes.
But still very worthy to watch. And they also made a sequel to Breaking Bad, a movie, a Netflix original.
El Camino.
That came out just last year. Check out our review of it.
Yeah, we might put that in the link.
Yeah.
Description.
But yeah, check out Breaking Bad. Fantastic. So moving on to number 5 in our list.
A show that we've talked a lot about in the last few months.
Oh, yeah, you might be sick of hearing about it.
We probably don't need to say too much more about this, but it is, of course, The Mandalorian. Just the fact that this has cracked our top 10 so early on, like after its first season, I think is just a credit to just how good this show is.
Yeah.
It is fantastic. It has united the Star Wars fan base again. I just couldn't get enough of it.
Oh, it is... Well, look, if you've been watching our videos...
You know our thoughts.
You know our thoughts on it. And look, if you want in-depth thoughts on it, then check those videos out.
Yeah,
if
again, probably put the link in the description for you guys.
But it just, again, film quality. I think we take a little bit for granted these days, just the standard of shows that we are getting now.
Go back and watch the shows from the 90s and compare them what we got now. Or compare them to just the movie of that time as well.
Yeah.
Like I think it might be a bit unfair to compare it to shows now, but if you compare it to the movies of the time, shows just lack that production value. But it's changing. Like some of the shows now have got better production value than some of the movies coming out.
Absolutely. I think we are definitely very lucky to be living in a time that we can get this high quality kind of TV shows. So this show is on Disney Plus. It is exclusive to Disney Plus.
Well worth the subscription alone.
Yes, definitely. If there's nothing else you want to watch, then just watch The Mandalorian at least. Even if you're not familiar with the Star Wars movies, I think you're still going to get something out of it. While obviously it would benefit you to have that history.
Yeah, I think if you know the movies and that and the universe, I think you'll pick up on a lot of the Easter eggs.
Yeah.
Because that was one of my favorite parts, is picking up all the Easter eggs.
Yeah, you'll definitely get a lot more out of it. Yeah, but even if you haven't seen them, definitely check it out because it's still a great watch. Yeah.
And of course, it's got Baby Yoda in it.
I mean, do we need to say more?
Yeah.
No, we'll leave it at that. Go and watch it. So, number 4, it is well-deserved by Vikings. Vikings is a show that we have been invested in for quite a few years now. We're currently, I think, in the middle of a mid-season finale.
Yes.
They, much like what Walking Dead do, actually, they tend to have a lot of mid-season finales. Vikings is much the same. They do have very long seasons.
Yeah, like 20 episode seasons.
Yeah, but hey, more episodes are better, I say. I ain't complaining about that.
So created by Michael Hurst, and it tells the story of Ragnar Lothbrok, who is I don't want to say mythical, because it is, there are people who say he was a real Viking, a real person. But it's based on, I guess, his stories or stories of the legend of Ragnar Lothbrok, played by Travis Fimmel. And it's based in this Kattegat, this city called Kattegat, in Scandinavia, in the Viking era, and follows Ragnar as he kind of rises to power. And very, very good show. I think it originally aired on History Channel. I think it still is airing on the History Channel. And it is based on, I guess, loose history. So more stories and all that rather than, I think, solid fact. I think especially in like the later seasons, I think they probably take some liberties with it. But very, very, very good show. I love these kind of medieval, that kind of era, that timeline, you know, Vikings, medieval, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm really interested in that side of history. And this show just didn't disappoint.
And once again, you've got an outstanding cast, beautiful lineup of actors. We've got Travis Fimmel as, I hope I said his name, Travis Fimmel? Fimmel. As our Ragnar Lothbrok. He is absolutely perfect in this role. He just eats the camera up.
Yeah.
He's just so badass and swashbuckling as this.
Well, he's an Aussie, so he has to be badass.
Yes, he is an Aussie, so that's even cool. We also have Catherine Winnick as Lagertha.
She's a babe.
She's a babe.
Swing.
She, yes, Catherine Winnick plays Lagertha, our, I wanted to say Iron Maiden then, Shield Maiden.
Shield Maiden.
Our Shield Maiden, and she is so cool.
Yeah, she's not just eye candy, she's a badass in there. She's like a strong, independent woman.
Isn't she? She is, I wish I was her. I wish I was as cool as her.
And Alexander Ludwig. As Bjorn Ironside.
Bjorn Ironside. And we have Gustav Skarsgård in this as well. Are you noticing a trend? There's a lot of Skarsgårds popping up in our top 10 here.
Yeah.
We've had...
Coincidence? Or maybe they're just no quality work.
We had Stellan, we had Alexander, we got Gustav.
Gone through the list.
Yeah. I'm just talented family.
Yeah.
But yeah, Vikings is awesome. Like, if you are into... medieval history.
Yeah, Viking history.
If you love fights and all the drama that went along with that time, I think you'll love this. Again, brilliant cinematography in this show. And scenery.
Yep.
The sets and the lands.
Huge tracts of land.
It just sets the scene, doesn't it?
Yeah. But again, like, I think a common trend with these shows as well is just great production design as well. So once again, like the costumes, the sets, everything is just top notch.
Yep.
It's movie quality.
Yeah. So and it's been running for a while now. So there's a few seasons out there for you to watch already. As I said, it is currently running a season at the moment, but we're in a mid-season mid-season break at the moment. So time to catch up.
Yes.
And now moving on to number 3. Oh, we're in our top 3. Oh, this was so hard.
That's what she said.
But now this is a fairly new show. Only been around in recent years.
Just finished its 3rd season.
And I think a lot of people would also be quite familiar with this show. It's very popular at the moment. The Netflix original Stranger Things.
God, I love this show.
So good.
It just oozes nostalgia.
Doesn't it?
Just, well, it's set in the 80s and kind of follows this this lab that's doing like experiments and opens up this gateway, and these kids that get like involved in it. And like a lot of these classic 80s films of that time, like you follow these kind of this ragtag group of kids.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's just all just like the little 80s Easter eggs and the themes and the music.
The music's so good.
Yeah, like I was born 89, so I grew up on a lot of the late 80s, early 90s stuff. So I kind of just scraped into this era and grew up watching a lot of these kind of, you know, like E.T. and a lot of those like late 80s movies. And this just kind of took me back. It takes me back to my childhood, and I love that about it.
Yeah, and another quality show. Like, seriously, we are so lucky to have this kind of television to watch now.
Yeah.
Like, thank God for Netflix. But this show was made by the Duffer Brothers. God, I wish I'd come up with this idea.
I know.
They have just come up with such a unique idea for a show. And it really does just throw you into this, well, the world of the 80s, but then the world of the Upside Down. And the creatures in this are so cool. And the effects in this are so well done. And the kids.
Yeah.
The cast
Great
of
cast
kids,
of kids, yeah.
They are so lovable.
Finn Wolfhard, Millie Bobby Brown.
They are brilliant. And I wish I had that kind of talent when I was a kid. So I could end up in a show like this. Like, I'm so jealous of that. It would be such a cool production to work on.
Absolutely. Also stars Winona Ryder.
Yes.
And David Harbour.
Yep.
Who are fantastic.
All of them just great cast in all of these shows. So definitely check out Stranger Things. If
season 4's been announced.
Yes. It's been put off because of obviously
everything
the
going
times
on,
we're in at the moment. So it's on hold for the timing, but it's on the way.
So you got to binge it before the new season launches. So hurry up.
Hurry up. Get onto it. If you love fantasy, if you love sci-fi.
If you love the 80s.
If you love the 80s. All right.
Number 2.
I think it's going to be pretty obvious what our 2 shows left are going to be.
Yeah.
We're kind of hinting them in this picture. So, which one is it going to be?
What do you reckon?
Number 2 spot goes to Sons of Anarchy.
This was a tough one because Sons and our first choice kind of, you know, swapped between 1 and 2.
Yeah.
But I think this just drifts into number 2.
I think we've worked it out. I think this is a solid number 2 position. As I said, even though I'm feeling like Outlander's up there at the moment, but no, Sons has been around for a long time, and we are long-time fans of it. And
created by Kurt Sutter, following a California motorcycle club and the trials and tribulations that come with that. And our lead character, Jax Teller, he's trying to, I guess, get out of this life or find a better life for himself. But yeah, he just kind of gets one of those shows, kind of like Breaking Bad, where they just kind of try to dig themselves out of a situation, but they just get themselves deeper. So it's one of those kinds of shows. And one of those shows as well, and I think this is the first show to do it for me, that really made it clear early on that your main characters are not safe. Like it has no issues with killing off your main characters.
No.
And this was the first show that introduced me to that. And I was like, holy crap, they can do that?
Yeah.
They can do that? And it just makes the stakes just so much higher. So much higher when you can go week to week and you don't know who's safe.
Yeah. And look, if you've been following our videos for a while now, you know we love a storyteller who's not afraid to kill off a main character. And I think just being able to take those risks does make viewing that more thrilling. Don't get comfortable with your main characters.
No.
Because they're gonna die.
Oh, they're gonna die.
Amazing cast again. Ron Perlman.
Love Ron Perlman in anything he does.
Yeah.
Like he's the man. He's the man.
Charlie Hunnam.
So, I've noticed another trend with these shows is from a female perspective, attractive lead men.
Well, what? You gotta have the eye candy. And, Charlie Hunnam's us.
See, I think this is a ploy by the showrunners.
Yeah.
It's got to be. They get the female demographic in.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing.
You've also got Katie Seagal in there. She's also great
Yep.
in this. Who plays Jax Teller's mum, actually. And, God, they go through a journey.
Oh, yeah. Dysfunctional family, to say the least.
Oh, yeah. Look, strap yourselves in. So,
It gets crazy.
It gets really crazy.
It's just, it's gritty and violent and bloody, and I'm here for it. I love it.
Everything that we love again.
There's lots of drama as well. It's not just within the club, but with within the family. Like, it's got a big focus on family as well.
Yeah.
And the drama that is in that.
Yeah.
I think from what I've heard, it is a modern kind of retelling of Macbeth.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
So I think the way Kurt Sutter did that, I think, was really interesting.
Yeah, you definitely. Well, it's not obvious. You do see elements.
It's a subtle thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's there.
Yeah, Kurt Sutter. God, I'd really have to say he's one of the greatest television writers of our time. He knows how to tell a good story. That's
Absolutely.
for sure. So definitely give Sons of Anarchy a watch. In Australia, it is on Netflix, I believe.
Yes.
Not sure where else it is, but all the seasons around now. It's been off the air for a few years now.
I miss it. We had Mayans, but Mayans wasn't as good. It took a bit to get into that one.
Yeah.
But Sons is it's the OG, the original one, the best.
It's solid show. So give it a watch. All right, we are at number 1, and I'm sure this is not going to come to. Well, for people who know us, it's not going to come to any surprise. Look, we even named our cat after one of the main characters. We just love this show so much. And I think there are going to be a lot of people who have obviously already seen this and probably know the show we're about to announce. It has gone down in history as probably the best show of all time, Game of Thrones.
What a show. What a show.
It is... Yep, it is the greatest show for us.
I think it set the bar for what a show could be on a budget level, on a scale level. I think it proved that shows can be movie quality.
Yeah. Based off the book series by the legendary George R. R. Martin, Game of Thrones. Well, it's set in a mythical land and follows 9 families, I think.
9 kind of royal families that are kind of fighting for the crown, the throne.
To be the king of
Westeros.
And my goodness, does a lot happen in this
show.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
We have so much packed into these seasons. Just so many overlapping storylines, but they're all as riveting as the other. There's just so many
and they all kind of come together about halfway through, 3/4 of the way through.
And see how it all unfolds. And just so many characters you love, so many characters you hate, characters you love to hate. I love a show and a movie like that too.
That's a good way to put it. Characters you love to hate, because a good villain is one that you just love watching. Like, you hate them passionately, but you love watching them on screen.
Yeah.
So one of the main villains from Outlander, going back to that for a sec, was like that.
Yeah.
Jack Randall, like, you just love to hate him. Like, I'm like, man, I hate this guy.
But you loved watching him.
You had characters in this that were like that. So Cersei Lannister, or the Lannisters in general, to name a couple. And Joffrey. Well, he's the Lannister family.
Yep.
But you hate them, but you just love watching on TV. Like, it just makes for great television.
Yeah. Look, I think most people have probably seen this show already. And if you have, give it another watch. Like, seriously, we've
definitely got some rewatchability.
Yeah, we've watched it a couple of times now, and I'm eager to watch it again. Very binge-worthy, as all the shows we have listed are. But Game of Thrones definitely takes the cake.
Yeah, especially the first 5 seasons or so were just fantastic. It was like some of the best television, hands down.
Yep.
The last few seasons, and admittedly, I guess once they started going away from the books, started to get a bit rushed here and there, and some of the story elements, the story points, a lot of some people weren't massive fans of. But in saying that, if you have gotten through like those first 5 seasons, you get so invested in these characters that you need to see them through till the end.
Yeah.
And I do think a lot of the decisions made in those last seasons were earned. I think, from my perspective, a lot of those decisions were earned. And even though the last season especially was a little bit rushed, I think just the quality of the craft, the filmmaking, some of the cinematography in the last season was the best that has ever been in the show.
Or in TV history.
Yeah. Some of those shots, I was just like, because again, as a filmmaker myself, who gets behind the camera quite a bit, like I was just in awe of some of these shots. They were just gorgeous. The production design, again, I talk about production design, but again, fantastic. They literally recreated a city from scratch in the last season.
Yeah.
And did not miss a detail.
No.
Did not miss a detail.
The attention to detail in this show is, I think, what makes it. Like, everything is quality, high standard, and I feel terrible that the last season got so much flack that it did. I can understand, we can understand why it had so many people, flare up about the last season, but it wasn't enough to put. We still loved the last season, and I'm sure most people have probably heard, that the last season flopped. Yeah. I don't think you can.
I think a lot of people aren't giving enough credit to the craftsmanship that went in. A lot of people are focusing on the story and how rushed it was and some of the decisions that were made, but as craftspeople ourselves, coming from a filmmaking background, like when we watch something like this, we have to just appreciate that craftsmanship that goes into a show like this. And I think some of the craftsmanship on display in the last season was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. And definitely don't write the show off.
No.
Because that last season, we definitely didn't. We actually kind of liked some of the decisions that were made in the last season. That's going to be a pretty controversial statement for a lot of people, but we did. We loved this show till the end, and it's definitely not enough to completely write the show off. There's a lot of people who are like, oh, they ruined the last season. This was a waste of my time. The whole show. No. The show
you can't write off like the first 5 or so seasons, which was some of the best television of all time.
Yeah.
Just for a couple of seasons that maybe didn't hit the mark here or there. Because this show had some of the best television moments of any show that I've seen. Just moments that just make your jaw drop.
Absolutely.
That, and again, it's one of those shows that none of your favorite characters are safe. Yeah. None of them.
Don't get comfortable with them.
So again, the stakes are just up here. They're so high.
Yeah.
And just, some of those TV moments were just jaw-dropping. We just sat with you for days afterwards, like, oh my God, I can't believe they did that. I can't believe they killed off this person. And, our love for it kind of is on display, Yeah.
So that is our number one. Game of Thrones, check it out. It is a HBO show again. HBO just they know how to bring a good show, don't they?
I think you can watch it on Foxtel here in Australia.
Yep. But look, all the DVDs are out now, so seriously, go and watch Game of Thrones. You will not be disappointed. We didn't say it was adapted to television by David Benioff and D.B. Weiss.
Yeah. Again, those guys copped a lot of flack for the last couple of seasons, but you got to remember, like, they're the ones that got the show off the ground and made it what it was.
Yep.
So you got to give them credit. Yeah.
Book to screen, and that's a big task to do. So, well done, guys. We loved it. We're still gonna watch it. And definitely go and check it out. That is our top 10.
We made it.
We made it. We hope that you've found something that you can now go off and watch during this isolation period that we were in.
Should be enough to get you through.
Should be enough. God. If you make it through all of those 10 shows, this isolation has gone on way too long. I kind of hope you don't make it through all those shows, but still watch it beyond, okay? They are quality shows, in our opinion, our favorite shows of all time. And thank you so much for watching. Please stay safe. through all this. Be sensible. Just
Yep. Wash your hands, kids.
wash your hands.
And then once you've washed your hands, press that subscribe button.
Yes.
Yeah, subscribe, like the video if you like what we do. Leave a comment in the comments below. Do all that YouTube stuff.
Because we've got more coming.
Yeah.
We will actually have our top 10 favorite Netflix shows coming for you next. And also I think we'll need to do a top 10 honorable mentions as well, because as we said, this was a really tough top 10 to put together, and there were so many shows that we wish we could have put in there, but for one reason or another they just didn't quite make it, but still quality enough that we'll do another.
A lot of good content out there.
A lot of good stuff out there to watch. So we'll bring you that video as well. Yeah, in the meantime, stay safe. Look after yourselves.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.